Hello everyone, welcome to this new lesson. In this video I'm going to talk about the paths and custom cell statements or cell expressions in Katana. So basically in Katana, every node has its own operation and it is responsible for apply an operation on top of a geometry or any type of data in Katana. So in order to apply the operation on top of something, you need to assign or select that particular assignment to your corresponding node. So in order to do that, we are going to use paths and cell statements. So I'm just going to explain this with the viewer object settings node. So basically I'm just going to connect this and I'm going to resolve the scene graph from here, and I'm going to assign a color so from here. So it still doesn't affect anything, as I can see here. So the geometry is visible here. Let's make sure we don't have the basic material enabled, and as you can see here, so it's still not affecting here because we haven't assigned anything here. So this is the place where we need to assign something to apply an operation of a node. So basically almost every node has this kind of cell statements. Like almost all of the nodes has this kind of a selection area like this. So basically we have three different options. One is paths and collections, and the final one is custom. So collection is a very important thing, and it is a big thing. So we are going to talk about collections in the upcoming videos, but at this moment let's discuss about paths and custom. So let's first start with our paths. So basically path is like the absolute paths. So actually you can just select anything from your scene graph and you can drag and drop, or you can just select your scene graph selection and you can click this drop down menu and paths. Okay, sorry. So you need to append scene graph selection. So it will create a new path with the selection that you have selected in your scene graph. So as you can see here, so it is actually the absolute path. Actually you can't edit this. It is not a text. It is a scene graph location. So you cannot make change in this. So you can even directly select a geometry from here and assign it from viewer itself. You can select the geometry and shift middle mouse and drag and drop. So if you drag and drop here like this, so it will add this geometry into this path itself. But if you shift middle mouse, drag and drop here, it will create a new path slot and it will assign the scene graph location here. Basically the difference and the use of creating multiple paths is you can just disable whatever slot that you want, and you can enable whatever that you want by pressing D when you hover your mouse on top of that particular path slots. So, and the other option, the other useful benefit for using multiple paths is basically you can use this booleans. So in this case I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to the same geometry that we are using here and shift middle mouse, drag and drop in the new add statement. So as you can see here, at this moment I actually, when I right click and select selected paths here, you can check your selections here. So it will select everything here. So you always need to be very careful by right click and select selected paths in scene graph, because if you are working on a huge geometry or something like that, like a city or a spaceship, so it will sometimes create problems by expanding and select everything and making visible in the viewport. So it will take some time to do that. So make sure if you are working on a big scene, don't use this. So but you have different options. I'll show you in a minute. So basically so when I right click and select this one from here, it will select that particular path, and right click, not right click, left mouse and select find and display results of this panel. So it actually doesn't select the geometry, but it just show you all the scene graph selections into a different window. So I would usually suggest this one over find and select scene graph location. So yeah, So in this case, if you want to select all your selections, let's say if you have 10 different selections here, so you can just click this one. You can see cell 2, so it has 2 different slots, so you can select here and find and select in the scene graph, or find and display your results here. So this way you can do this. So we have the same geometry assigned here. So actually, so yeah, I'm just going to change this to difference. So actually at this moment it doesn't make any sense. So as you can see here, so this is the A and this is B. So basically the second or third slots get this option actually. So the first one doesn't have this. So if I drag and drop this over this, now you can see here our sales path is now below this. So now you can see here we have options of booleans here. So if I change this to difference here, you can see here now it applies the boolean operation and it selects only this one. So this is really useful. At this moment we don't have any intersections here in the path, so it doesn't show anything here. So this is really cool. And yeah, as you can see here, this is the paths. And let's remove this and let's talk about custom cell statements. So basically custom cell statements and paths. So the difference between custom cell statements and paths is, so let me drag and drop my sales group here, and the same group to the custom as well. So as you can see here, if you double click, or you can't change anything. So basically it's a scene graph location, but in custom it actually copy your scene graph location as a text, so you can actually make changes here. So in this case I would like to remove this part, and you can see here, if I find and select this result, it select the whole group, and if I find and select this one, it select the whole sheet, because we have removed the group here and we just want to select a particular a different group from this. So if you want to select a different group, you can just write down here and it will select the group accordingly. So in this case you can create you can do the same boolean operations here as well. So you can just difference, it doesn't work. So if I change this like this, maybe change the difference, now you can see it works fine. So the order, when it comes to boolean operation, the order is very important. So I'm just going to remove this and let's completely talk about custom cell statements. So as you can see here, you can add multiple custom statements like this. You can select custom cell statements and you can drag and drop your selections here and change this. So you can use as many statements as you want, and the same way you can press D hover over on your slot, custom slot, and you can disable it. So you can enable and disable whatever that you want. So this is really powerful, and you can create wildcards. That is the very important thing. So let's say if I show in scene graph, and you can see we have this is cloth geometry, and we have our naming is properly set here. So all our cloths are have the word called cloths. So in this case I would like to select all the cloths here. So it is a bit tedious to select everything here. So since it is a small asset, so you can select something like this. Let's say this asset has a lot of wood assets. So in order to select that, so let's first check our naming conventions for this. You can see we have tons of wood geometries here. So from this ship group, I'm just going to add two slashes. Basically when you add two slashes, and following that, if you add something, so it will skip everything and it will looking for that particular keyword that we type. So basically in this case we are going to search for wood, star, wood, and star. So basically it skips whatever that comes before wood and whatever after the wood. So basically if I enable this, oops, nothing happens. Strange. Let's see. Yeah, this is a case sensitive one, so we need to make sure the W is uppercase, and now you can see all our wood geometries are just working fine. Cool. So we have some other things. I'm not sure whether if it is a wood or not. So okay, so this is a metal. metal, not wood. So yeah, we are happy with the selection. So in this case we have the wood. So I'm just going to copy this one and paste it here, and I'm going to assign a different custom cell statement, and I'm going to change the color of it to something like green, and I'm just going to change this to, instead of using wood, I'm going to use cloth. Cool. Now you can see here it selects all the cloth's geometries. So you can, if you want, you can select multiple custom statements here. I'm going to just copy this and paste it here, and double click, select that word and type metal here. You have all your metals selected. So by doing like this, you don't have to select individual geometries, and you don't have to select it that way. So yeah, let's say if I want to select in a particular group, so basically this is from this group, so I'm just going to get this metal basically. So show in scene graph, I'm just going to remove both of these statements, and I'm just going to drag and drop. Okay, let's create the custom cell statements first, and drag and drop here like this. And from this, I'm just going to go into our ship group, and from that, oops, let's maximize this a bit to see clearly, and let's select the four-mast group, and I'm going to put 2/ here and a star here. So so put a star here, and it will so it will skip whatever that comes before the foremast, and it will skip everything, and it will directly go into this. And I'm going to put another 2/, and I would like to select the metal shapes. So as you can see here, it only select the metal shapes into that particular group. So basically it will first select this group. So if I remove this, and if I find and select, as you can see here, it directly select the group. So we don't even have to specify the full name of it. But we should not take advantage of this wildcards. So we can use, actually we can skip everything before that, and you can directly use it something like this. You can directly skip everything, and you can, you know, select everything. But as you can see here, so if you're searching a metal, so see it's still actually selecting everything. So as I already told you, it's a bit of an expensive thing, so it is not a good habit to, you know, put a wildcard like this. So basically it actually going through everything and selecting. As you can see here, we are not able to even stop this. So it will, so sometimes we don't have any other options other than, you know, you can save it, but sometimes you need to kill your software. Let me pause for a while and come back once it's done. Yeah, finally I killed Katana and I reopened the scene. So yeah, as you can see here, it is not a good habit. So even if you are doing that, so you can find and display results like this. So it will show you all the results in your in a different window like this. So this is acceptable. So this is you know, very efficient. So you can use this one. So instead of, but never use this one. This will take a lot of time in computing things. So yeah, so instead of doing that, so let's do, let me remove this. So yeah, you can kind of, after the particular group, so basically we are working on ship, maybe you can, you know, create something like this. So yeah, so if I enable this, you can see here, so still, so yeah, as you can see here, it works just fine here. So but still we can use this one. So basically this is how the wildcards are working in Katana cell statements, and we have other expressions as well. So yeah, let's say if you want to select any type of data in Katana, like if you want to select just the groups, or if you want to select just the geometries and things like that, so you can use custom cell statements, you can use custom expressions as well. So in this case I'm just going to kind of, you know, so basically, so I'm just going to show you a different expression. So I'm just going to copy this expression, and I'm going to, okay, let's create a new one, and let's give it a blue color. So yeah, I'm just going to copy this expression and show you what it does. So actually, as you can see here, this is very fast, and so basically what this does is, so it actually into this group in geo, so it will type for, it will looking for an attribute called type. So basically when you mention an attribute, and the attribute is going to be type, and the type attribute, the value is polymesh. So instead of using polymesh, let's say, so as you can see here, so this is the type, so this is the attribute that we are selecting for, looking for. So instead of polymesh, so I'm just going to change this to group. So now you can see here, so if I just find and display results, so it will only select the group, not the actual geometry. So you can see here it doesn't select the shape, so it selects only the group. So yeah, basically you can do something like this using the custom cell statements. So this is really powerful one in Katana. So yeah, we will use a lot in our future tutorials. So yeah, that's it for this session. Yeah.